In today's lesson, we're going to have a look at finding a fraction of a quantity. Now, just some information for you on the board to begin with. Or I should say a fraction of a quantity. A quantity is just a number or an amount. So to find a half of something, we divide it by 2. To find a third of something, we divide by 3. To find a quarter of something, we divide by 4. To find a fifth, we divide by 5, and to find a sixth, we divide by 6. So the number on the bottom of the fraction is telling you what you need to divide by. Here at the bottom of the fraction is 2, and you've got a half, so you divide by 2. Here, for a third, the bottom or the denominator of the fraction is 3, we divide by 3. Here, we've got a quarter, so we divide by 4, etc. The number at the bottom of the fraction, the denominator of the fraction, tells you the number we need to divide by. So if we have a little look at some questions here, I've got find 1/4 of 8. So the number at the bottom of the fraction is 4. So we need to divide by 4. We're finding a quarter, we divide by 4. So to find 1/4 of 8, we do 8 divided by 4, which gives us 2. How many 4s are there in 8? There are 2. The next one, 1/3 of 24. The number on the bottom of the fraction now is 3, so we need to divide by 3. So 1/3 of 24, 24 divided by 3. How many 3s are there in 24? There are 8. And this one here, though, requires some workings because the number's larger. 1/7 of 4,501. So the number at the bottom of the fraction, same thing, the number at the bottom of the fraction is the number we're divided by. In this case, it's 7. So we do in here 4,501 divided by 7. Now, I don't expect you to be able to do that in your head necessarily, so we draw out our bus stop. 4,501 divided by 7. How many 7s are there in 4? There aren't any. Carry over your 4. How many 7s are there in 45? Well, 6 7s are 42, so there's a remainder of 3. How many 7s are there in 30? 4 7s are 28, remainder 2. How many 7s are there in 21? There are 3. So the answer to 4,501 divided by 7 is 643. So 643 is 1/7 of 4,501. Things have changed slightly with these next questions because the number on top of the fraction, the numerator now, is greater than 1. So it requires an extra stage of our workings, but we're going to start off exactly the same as we did earlier on. So although the question's asking us to find 3/5 of 45, we're going to start by finding 1/5 of 45. So we don't go straight ahead and find the 3/5. We're going to find 1/5 first, because once we know what 1/5 is, we can use that to find 3/5. So 1/5 of 45, the number on the bottom of the fraction now is 5, so we need to divide by 5. So 45 divided by 5 gives us 9. Now that's only 1/5, and the question asks us for 3/5. So 3/5 is 3 lots of 1/5. So 3/5 of 45 is going to be 3 lots or 3 times the answer to 1/5. So in this case it's going to be 3 times 9, which is 27. So 3/5 of 45 was 27. Another example down below, 6/7 of 77. So again, we're not going straight into 6/7. We're going to find 1/7 of 77 to begin. The number at the bottom of the fraction now is 7, so we need to divide by 7. 77 divided by 7 is 11. 1/7 of 77 is 11. But to finish off the question, we need to find 6 sevenths of 77. So that's 6 lots of 1/7, or 6 times the answer here for 1/7. So that's 6 times 11, which is 66. 6/7 of 77 is 66. So just to summarise what you're doing, you take the quantity or the number that you want to find the fraction of, you divide that by the number on the bottom of the fraction, and then you multiply that answer by the number on the top of the fraction. So you divide by the denominator, the number on the bottom, and then you multiply that answer by the numerator, the number on the top of the fraction. Question here now is going to involve workings. It's a little bit more difficult, but the same thing we're going to do, the same process. We're going to start by finding 1/8 of 4,512. Number on the bottom of the fraction is 8, so we need to divide by 8. So we'll set our workings out here. 4,512 divided by 8. How many 8s in 4? There aren't any. We carry over the 4. How many 8s in 45? Well, 5 8s are 40, so the remainder then is 5. How many 8s in 51? 6 8s are 48, so that's a remainder of 3. How many 8s in 32? There are 4. Haven't finished the question yet. We've worked out what 1/8 of 4,512 is, and that's 564. But we want 3/8 of 4,512, so that's 3 lots of 1/8, so that's 3 times 564. Now I know there's lots of different ways you do your multiplication. Some of you will do the grid, some of you will do Chinese. I'm just going to put down a tower sum here as my method of working. So we've got 3 times 4 is 12, 2 down carry the 1. 3 times 6 is 18, plus the 1 I carried is 19, 9 down carry the 1. 3 times 5 is 15, plus the 1 I carried is 16. So my final answer to 3/8 of 4,512 is 1,692. And finally, the last question we'll have a little look at is one which has included units. But the same thing applies. We're going to go through the same process. We're going to start by finding 1/11 of £356.40. So again, the number on the bottom of the fraction is 11, so we need to start by dividing by 11. Okay, how many 11s in 3? There aren't any, so we carry over the 3. How many 11s are there in 35? Well, 3 11s are 33, so the remainder then from 33 to 35 is 2. How many 11s in 26? 2 11s are 22, the remainder from 22 to 26 then is 4. Don't forget the decimal point in your answer, in line with the decimal point in the question. How many 11s in 44? That's 4 exactly, because 4 11s are 44. And then to finish off, for money, your place value, how many 11s in the 0 there? That's 0. So if I was to put my units in here now, 1/11 of £356.40 would be £32.40. But we don't want to stop there. At 1/11, we want 5/11 of £356.40. So that means I want 5 lots of £32.40. 5 times £32.40. Again, a quick tower sum here. £32.40 times by 5. But again, remember, any method for working out your multiplication is fine. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 4 is 20, so that's 0 down carried a 2. decimal point down in my answer. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 2 I carried is 12. 2 down carried a 1. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 1 I carried is 16. I do need to include units on my answer. So the final answer, 5/11 of £356.40 is £162. And that's the end of this lesson.